Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Neha. I make video on tech and my life in the UK. Today's video is helpful for anyone who is planning to start learning ReactJS or started to plan learning JavaScript. In today's video, I'm going to talk about 5 concepts which as a JavaScript developer you should get comfortable before you start ReactJS. I have already made 2 videos where I spoke about arrays and objects methods which one should learn in JavaScript to be master in ReactJS. This is in continuation of that. Now before I start with the content of this video, I also want to put a disclaimer here. A lot of people may assume that I am doing a gatekeeping here by saying learn JavaScript first before doing ReactJS. To be honest, with experience what I have, my opinion is very clear here that ReactJS end of the day is JavaScript. In your day-to-day life as a ReactJS developer, you will be writing JavaScript. You will be using the same concept of JavaScript from basic to advanced. If you doesn't know JavaScript, if you are not comfortable with JavaScript, unfortunately you will struggle a lot in ReactJS and you have to take a step back, or parallelly you need to learn JavaScript. So if your goal is to be good in ReactJS, you need to learn JavaScript. So instead of doing it later, why don't you do it sooner? So if you can, you have time, first learn JavaScript and then see that your speed to learn ReactJS and start working on ReactJS will become 10x. So with this, I will start with my video, and let's start with the first concept which one should learn in JavaScript to be a master in your ReactJS. So the first concept which we are going to talk about is your variables. Now variables, what are variables? Variables are used to store a values. So in ReactJS world, you have 3 ways of doing it: var, lest, const. We'll no longer use var. Why? Because it pollutes your global scope. So we no longer use var. If you see anywhere var, please change it. Either change it to let or const as per the use. We do not use var at all. Now as a JavaScript developer, you should know different ways of defining variables, when to use and where to use which one. Now with ES6 we have let and const. Let is for block level scope. Before ES6 there was no block level scope. Now what are block level scope, what is global scope, etc. I have made a video already on this. Please watch that. I will put it in the description box. Watch it to understand this. So please use let wherever you need block scope. The next is const, which is basically constant. Now what are constant? For example, pi, which is equals to 3.14. This is the constant value. And what we do, whenever we have constant value, we declare it with the uppercase. This is a naming convention. The use of constant is first to define the constant value, and second, the benefit of using const is that it avoids the errors if someone try to reuse the same name which you have for your variable in the program in some at some other line. So before const, what used to happen, we used to declare every variable with var, and if a developer is end up using redeclaring the same variable name, it used to override the old variables. So if I have created a variable name and another developer also did the same, then my variable will get override, or we will end up in some error. This is a very weird situation, and trust me, it used to throw a lot of errors and we developer used to scratch our head. With const, this problem got solved. Now if you have a variable declare with const and anyone else by mistake try to redefine, it will throw an error. Now if you are thinking, come on, we know as a developer how many variables we have declared, then why we need to need of const? So take an example, you are working in Meta, you are working on a project Instagram, you have a huge team of developers, everyone is working in different geographic, different time zone. Now you are working on your module and they are also working on that module. It's very common that developer will use the same variable's name. To avoid such situation, const come in picture, that it will help the developers to avoid such errors. So that's why const is useful. and in React.js world you will be using const a lot. I would like to show you an code. Now this is the counter component. You will see on line number 3 I'm defining a component using const. Then on line number 4 I'm defining a state using const. Line number 8 I am defining methods using const. Line number 12 I am doing the same thing, defining method using const. So in React.js world you will be using const a lot. Please get comfortable with that even in your JavaScript code also. Okay, now with this let's move to the second concept, which is functions. In JavaScript you have two ways of doing functions. But what are functions? Functions are the way to organize your code. In JavaScript, as you will start learning more and more, you will be using functions a lot. You will be defining your own functions. So let's start the syntax of function. You have function keyword, then the name of the function, rounded brackets, and then curly brackets where your code goes. Then we have fat arrow function, which came in ES6. The syntax goes like this: const get name equals to rounded brackets, and then this is a fat arrow and then curly bracket. So this is the syntax of fat arrow function. This is the syntax of normal function. Now what are the, as a JavaScript developer, what you need to learn is, first learn how to define basically syntax, and then what are the pros and cons. Now the benefit of using fat arrow function is, first, this scope. Now what is the scope? I have already made a video on that. I will give the link in the description. Please watch it. Our fat arrow function has lexical scope. It doesn't has its own this. So it takes the this from its surrounding, which is very useful because now we no longer need to do this binding, which we have to do with normal function in React.js world. So this is one of the benefit. The second is your return statement. Now let's talk about return statement. If I wanted to do 2 plus 1, if I will execute, I will get nothing. To get a 3, I have to do return like this. If I have to do the same thing in my fat arrow function, I can just write 2 plus 1. I don't need to write return keyword. And this is very important because when we are working in React.js and we will be using our different methods of arrays, objects, and all this, you will see that this will make a difference there. So we are no longer writing a return. This fat arrow function has implicit return. So whenever you will run get name, it will give you 3. So that is another benefit of this. The third thing is the syntax. Now because I have just one line, what I can do is I can just remove these curly bracket. I cannot do this with normal function because it will throw me an error. So the syntax get more cleaner and linear. So that's why the fat arrow function is very useful. Now for you, if you are learning JavaScript and planning to go to React.js, get yourself comfortable with fat arrow function because in React.js you will be using them a lot. Now going back to my counter example, you will see that on line number 3, I'm defining a component and this is fat arrow function. Now how I know this is a fat arrow function? Definitely here is my fat arrow coming here. Now on line number 8 and line number 12, you can see I have defined a method here, increment method, and again I'm using a fat arrow function. So in React.js we do use lot of fat arrow function. So please get yourself comfortable with this. Okay. Now let's move to the third, which is conditional operator. Now in JavaScript you have if else. How we do it? We say if user name equals to Neha, then do something else, do something. Now another way of doing the same thing is using ternary operator, which is your condition, and if it is true it will like this, if it is false this condition will run. So if I have to convert this into ternary operator, all I have to do is just, and here I can do welcome Neha. Here in false I can say please log in, or welcome guest I can write welcome guest. So you can see it is doing the same thing what if else is doing, but this is the ternary operator. Now in React.js world, we will be using ternary operator a lot. So let me give you an example. This is the first example in React.js. The second is I can just remove this, and what I can do is, I can also change this to welcome, and whatever the username is coming, I can put it here. Now what is this? This is again JavaScript. This is not React.js. All I am doing is just JavaScript. But in React.js world, I am showing if you have to use ternary operator, these are the different things you can do. Why I'm using curly bracket? Because this is the React.js. Only curly bracket here is React.js. Everything else is your JavaScript. Now another way is, if username is there, what I can do is I can just hide and show components. So I can show welcome. If username is not there, then what I can do is I can just show them the guest component. And another thing what I can do in React.js by using this, I can pass the username also as a prop to my another component. So if you will see, the ternary operator is very useful in React.js. So you should be get very comfortable with this. It is going to help your React.js journey very easy, because whenever the such code will come in front of you, you will be very easily able to identify that what is happening. Okay, so with this, let's move to the next, which is optional chaining. Now I already told you that I have made a video on objects where I talk about the nested objects also. So let's take an example of nested one, and what I will do is, let me just add a pin code here, and let me add a city here. So here what we are doing is, we have a nested object user, and in this I have address, and I want to access city. Now if I want to try user.address.city, now what will happen? If there is no address, it will throw me an error. If there is no city, it will throw me an error. So another way what I can do is, I have to safeguard it. So I will say if user is there, if user.address is there, if user.address.city is there, then I will move ahead. Again, this is not an error proof. Now what will happen? Wherever, if this condition will fail, then again I will end up with an error. So what our optional chaining does is, first the syntax is like this, question mark dot, then this, and then I have city. Now this, what it will do is, instead of throwing an error, what it will do is, it will actually returns undefined if the object is not found. So if city is not found, it will return me undefined. And what is happening is, it is helping me to prevent runtime errors. As well as, if you will see, what we were doing is, initially we were writing this much. It is actually simplifying my syntax also, and it makes it very easy. Other way of doing the same thing is, you will be writing if user is there, if user.address is there, if user.address.city is there. So these kind of ugliness, this optional chaining help us in avoiding. And in React.js, because you will be working with arrays and objects a lot, this optional chaining will come very handy. So please get yourself very comfortable in while working on JavaScript with optional chaining. And now with this, we reach to the last concept, which are events. Whenever you are working on a UI application, you will definitely be using events. Now events in React.js is same as what we have in JavaScript. So all the JavaScript event, click, double click, hover, mouse over, everything are actually same as in React.js. The difference come in React.js, the events are synthetic events. What it means is, they are the wrapper above JavaScript events, and their benefits are two. The first benefit is, it helps in the cross-browser compatibility. So if you don't need to worry if it is working on Chrome, will it work on Safari or not, you don't need to. And second, there is a performance boost. So for you, what is important and what you need to learn, you need to get comfortable with events in JavaScript, how they work, how their syntax is, how to write the code of that. And when you will move to React.js, only because in React.js we have camel case, that part will change, rest will remain the same. So we will be writing on click in React.js. However, in JavaScript, what we do is, we just write on click like this. Only this part will change, rest remain the same. Now with this, I will go back again to the counter example just to show you that how all these concepts are getting implemented. I already showed you about the const, that how we are using const. I already showed you the fat arrow function. Now here, if you will see, we have also used our conditional. So if this is the condition, if count is greater than 5, then show high count, otherwise show low count. So our conditional operator is also getting used. And in the same, we are using events. If you will see, we are using line number 11 and 12 on click. These are the event of JavaScript, but only the syntax is getting changed here. C is capital. So a small example of counter where we are just doing on click of button, incrementing and decrementing the count. All the concept we have used minus optional chaining. You can see all the concepts are getting used here. So you can understand that how important these concepts are. So please get yourself very comfortable with this so that you can understand ReactJS and you get comfortable and master ReactJS very well. I hope this video was helpful for you. If you like this video, as I always say, please share in your network, on your LinkedIn, Twitter, your social media platform, whichever you like. If you are a student and you have a university channels, please share there. If you are working professional, if you can share within your organization, that would be of great help. With this, I would like to say bye to you, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.